There's a silent mistake that most men over 60 make every day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this mistake is literally consuming the strength of your muscles, weakening your arteries from the inside, and gradually shutting down the production of the hormone that makes you feel like a man. It's no exaggeration. It's what happens when your body stops receiving the right type of protein. Not just any protein, three specific proteins that act like biological keys, each activating a different system in your body that's dormant right now. I'm Dr. Natália Castro, and I'm going to show you exactly what these proteins are and how to use them starting today. But before I reveal the first one, I need you to understand something that almost no doctor explains clearly. After 60, your body doesn't process protein the same way it did at 30. There's a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Your muscles have become harder to nourish. The same amount of protein that used to be enough to maintain your strength and energy now passes through your body without being utilized. It's like filling a leaky bucket. You eat, but your body doesn't absorb it. You keep losing muscle mass, waking up tired, feeling like something essential is slipping away. And most men think it's just age. It's not. It's a direct consequence of a body starving for the right kind of nutrient. And this is where things get really concerning. When a man over 60 doesn't consume the right proteins, three systems collapse simultaneously. The muscular system deteriorates. And I'm not just talking about appearance. I'm talking about the strength to climb stairs, get up from a chair, maintain posture. The hormonal system slows down because without the right amino acids, the body doesn't have the raw material to produce testosterone. And the circulatory system hardens from the inside because certain proteins carry compounds that directly protect the walls of your arteries. Three systems, three collapses, all connected to three proteins that should be on your plate every day and probably aren't. I'm going to reveal each one now, but pay close attention to the order because the sequence matters. The first protein prepares the ground, the second activates the hormonal engine, and the third will surprise you because almost no one associates this food with what it really does inside a mature man's body. Let's start with the first protein, but I need to tell you about Antonio first. Antonio was 72 and came to my office with a complaint I have heard thousands of times. Doctor, my legs don't obey me anymore. I wake up in pain, walk with difficulty, and at night I feel a tingling that keeps me from sleeping. He thought it was a back problem. He'd already had MRIs, X-rays, consulted orthopedists. No one found anything serious. But when I carefully analyzed his diet, the answer was right there, obvious and ignored. Antonio barely consumed quality protein in his daily routine. His breakfast was bread with margarine. Lunch was rice, beans, and a little salad. Dinner, a thin soup. His body was literally devouring itself from the inside, consuming its own muscles to survive. And that's when I introduced him to the first of the three proteins I'm revealing to you now, the egg. It seems too simple. I know. Maybe you're even thinking you already know everything about eggs, but what I'm about to explain will probably completely change how you see this food. The egg isn't just a source of protein, it's the most complete protein in nature. It contains all the essential amino acids the human body needs in the exact proportions that your body recognizes and absorbs with maximum efficiency. No supplement, no industrial shake, no capsule can replicate what a simple egg does inside your body. And here's what almost no one mentions. The yolk, that part they told you to avoid for decades, is precisely where the greatest benefit lies. The yolk contains cholesterol, yes, but the kind that serves as direct raw material for testosterone production. Without adequate cholesterol, the body can't manufacture this hormone. It's like having a factory running but no raw material on the conveyor belt. The yolk is also rich in choline, an essential nutrient for the brain that most mature men have at critically low levels. Researchers from the University of Sao Paulo followed men between 62 and 75 who started consuming 3 whole eggs a day for 8 weeks. The results impressed even the researchers themselves. There was a significant increase in muscle strength, improvement in inflammation markers, and, to many surprise, no negative change in bad cholesterol. Antonio followed my guidance. 3 whole eggs for breakfast, prepared simply, boiled or scrambled with a drizzle of olive oil. In 10 days, he sent me a message that moved me. Doctor, today I went down the stairs without holding the handrail for the first time in 2 years. It might seem small to an outsider, but for a 72-year-old man who'd lost confidence in his own body, it was a silent revolution. Now, as powerful as the egg is for rebuilding muscle base and providing hormonal raw material, it alone doesn't complete the job. There's a second system in the male body that needs a different type of protein. A protein that carries within it a compound capable of doing something few foods can. Directly protect the walls of your arteries while reducing the inflammation that corrodes your circulatory system from the inside. And this protein comes from a source that most Brazilian men completely ignore. Before revealing what it is, tell me in the comments which country you're watching this video from, because I get messages from men all over Brazil, Portugal, Angola, Mozambique, all of Latin America, all facing exactly the same silent problem. If this content makes sense to you, write yes below. If not, write no and tell me what you'd like me to explain in the next video. Now let's get to the second protein and to explain why it's so important. I need to tell you what's happening inside your arteries right now. After 60, there's an invisible process that accelerates dramatically. The inner walls of your arteries start accumulating microlesions caused by chronic inflammation. These lesions attract deposits that harden the vessels, reduce the diameter through which blood passes, and progressively decrease blood flow to all organs. To the heart, the brain, and that region, every man knows exactly what I'm talking about. When circulation fails there, it doesn't matter if you have testosterone, desire, or will. If the blood doesn't arrive with force, nothing works. And this is exactly where the second protein comes in. Sardines. I know it might not be glamorous. Maybe you were expecting salmon, tuna, something more sophisticated. But sardines carry something that none of those other sources offer in the same proportion at an affordable cost. I'm talking about omega-3 in its most bioavailable form, the format your body absorbs directly without needing to convert. Sardines are one of the most concentrated sources of EPA and DHA out there. And these two compounds do something extraordinary inside your body. They act as natural anti-inflammatories, repairing those microlesions in the arterial walls I mentioned. They make the blood less thick, allowing it to circulate more easily, and stimulate the production of nitric oxide, that essential molecule that relaxes blood vessels and allows blood to flow with adequate pressure to all extremities of the body. Carlos was 67 and lived frustrated. He exercised, tried to eat well, but felt his body no longer responded. His hands were constantly cold, his feet tingled at night, and in intimacy, something that used to be natural had become a constant source of anxiety. When I analyzed his diet, I noticed there was practically no animal-derived omega-3. He consumed chia, flaxseed, thinking it was enough, but a man over 60's body converts less than 5% of plant-based omega-3 into usable EPA and DHA. It's almost nothing. I recommended something simple: a can of sardines in olive oil 3 times a week. For lunch, over a salad or with vegetables. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive. A study published by the Federal University of Minas Gerais followed 210 men between 60 and 76 who regularly included sardines in their diet for 10 weeks. The data showed a 34% reduction in vascular inflammation markers, significant improvement in arterial flexibility, and in 58% of participants, a noticeable improvement in peripheral circulation, including hands, feet, and the pelvic region. Carlos returned to the office 6 weeks later. He was different. His face color had changed, his hands were warm. And he told me something I kept with me. "Doctor, my wife noticed it before I did. She said I seemed to have life back in my body." It wasn't coincidence. It was the sardines omega-3 doing exactly what science shows it does: repairing, protecting, and reactivating circulation from the inside out. But now pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because even with the muscle base rebuilt by eggs and circulation reactivated by sardines, one key piece is still missing in this puzzle, a piece that most doctors simply don't associate with male vitality. A third protein that works on a level the other two don't reach. It directly affects what I call the axis of disposition, that system connecting mental energy, physical endurance, and emotional stability. Without this third protein, many men achieve partial results but never reach that complete feeling of being back, of feeling whole again. I'm going to reveal what this third protein is now. And believe me, it'll surprise you with its simplicity. Chicken, specifically chicken breast. I can imagine your reaction. Chicken? Seriously, doctor? Yes. And I'm going to explain why chicken breast is probably the most underrated food for a mature man's health. Chicken is the cleanest and most concentrated source of tryptophan accessible in daily life. And tryptophan is an amino acid that does something absolutely crucial in a man's body over 60. It's converted into serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood, sleep, and well-being. And serotonin, in turn, is converted into melatonin, the hormone that controls deep sleep quality. Why does this matter so much? Because it's during deep sleep that a mature man's body produces most of its testosterone and growth hormone. If sleep is poor, fragmented, superficial, hormonal production plummets. And when hormonal production plummets, energy drops, disposition drops, firmness drops, the will to live intensely drops. It's a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. And the entry point to break this cycle is often as simple as a piece of chicken for lunch. But it's not just tryptophan. Chicken breast is extraordinarily rich in vitamin B3, also known as niacin. And niacin has a function that very few health professionals explain to their patients. It directly improves peripheral circulation. It works as a gentle, natural vasodilator. Combined with sardines omega-3, it creates a synergistic effect that enhances blood flow in a way neither can alone. It's like sardines opening the doors of your arteries and chicken widening the hallway. Roberto was 73, and his problem wasn't pain or a diagnosed disease. It was something harder to name. "I simply lost the will, doctor. I wake up with no reason to get up. I go through the day on autopilot, sleep poorly, and wake up worse." He'd already been evaluated by a cardiologist, endocrinologist, urologist. All exams were within acceptable normality for his age. But normality on tests doesn't always mean vitality in real life. When I reorganized his diet, focusing on these 3 proteins, the change was gradual but profound. In the first week with eggs for breakfast, he noticed more stable energy. Not that peak followed by crash he felt with bread and coffee, but constant energy lasting until lunch. In the second week, with sardines included 3 times, he realized his hands stopped being cold and the tingling in his feet decreased significantly. In the third week, With chicken consumed regularly for lunch or dinner, his sleep changed. He told me something revealing. For the first time in years, I dreamed and woke up rested truly. Dreaming might seem like an insignificant detail, but it's a powerful marker that the body reached deep sleep phases, those where real hormonal restoration happens. And from there, everything accelerated. Mood improved, posture changed, voice gained more firmness. His wife noticed, his kids commented, Roberto was back. And this is where I need to make an important pause, because everything I'm explaining about these three proteins gains another dimension when you understand the mistakes most men make without realizing it, which directly damage the prostate. Many of the patients I see arrive consuming foods they believe are healthy, but are actually silently inflaming the prostate. That's exactly why I developed a practical medical guide that clearly explains these mistakes and how to avoid them. This guide is available in the pinned comment below the video. It's worth checking out, especially if you already feel that discomfort of getting up multiple times at night. Now, let's talk about what happens when these three proteins work together in a man over 60's body. Because individually, each is powerful, but combined they activate what I call the triangle of male vitality. The egg rebuilds the base, providing complete amino acids for muscles, choline for the brain, and functional cholesterol for testosterone production. It's the foundation. Sardines protect and unclog. Omega-3 repairs arteries, reduces systemic inflammation, and allows blood to circulate freely to all organs, especially those that depend on abundant blood flow to function fully. Chicken connects and enhances. Tryptophan regulates sleep and mood. Niacin amplifies circulation. Lean protein sustains energy without overloading the digestive system. Together, they form a positive feedback cycle. Better circulation leads to better muscle oxygenation, more disposition to move. More movement stimulates natural testosterone production. More testosterone brings energy, confidence, and desire. More desire brings connection, and more connection brings a life worth living intensely. Fernando was 69 and was the patient who summed it up in the most honest way I've heard. Doctor, I didn't just improve physically. I felt like I had a reason to be here again. This doesn't come from a pill, an injection. It comes from giving your body what it's been asking for years. Now, let me show you how to put all this into practice, simply starting today. I designed a 7-day plan that anyone can follow without complication and without spending more than you already do. Days 1 and 2. Start with eggs. 3 whole eggs for breakfast, boiled, scrambled, or as a simple omelet with a drizzle of olive oil. Nothing more. Just observe how your morning energy changes. Most men notice a stability they haven't felt in years. Days 3 and 4. Include sardines. Keep the eggs in the morning and add a portion of sardines for lunch 3 times a week. It can be canned sardines in olive oil over a salad with vegetables or brown rice. The important thing is whole sardines with skin and bones, because that's where the highest concentration of omega-3 and calcium is. Days 5, 6, and 7, complete with chicken. Keep the eggs and sardines and include a generous piece of chicken breast for lunch or dinner. Grilled, baked, or boiled, seasoned with natural herbs, lemon, and olive oil. After the first week, maintain the full cycle. Eggs every morning, sardines at least 3 times a week, chicken at least 4 times a week. What to expect in the first 7 days? More stable energy, less post-lunch drowsiness, clearer mind. Between days 8 and 14, circulation starts improving. Warmer extremities, less tingling, and for many, the return of morning signs that seem to have disappeared. Mood stabilizes, Sleep deepens. Between days 15 and 30, profound changes manifest: visible muscle firmness, better physical endurance, confidence noticeable in posture, voice, gaze. Researchers from the Federal University of Sao Paulo followed 195 men between 61 and 79 who followed a protocol based on these three protein sources for 12 weeks. The results were compelling. 74% reported significant energy improvement, 66% showed cardiovascular improvement, 61% noted improvement in function and desire, and 82% reported a vitality they hadn't felt in years. Now, I know doubts might arise. What if I don't like sardines? Substitute with mackerel or canned tuna, which are also rich in omega-3. What if I'm afraid of eggs because of cholesterol? Recent studies show that consuming up to 3 eggs a day doesn't increase cardiovascular risk in healthy people. Dietary cholesterol has much less impact than believed. What if I think it's expensive? Eggs and canned sardines are two of the cheapest protein foods out there. Chicken is one of the most accessible meats. Compared to supplements costing hundreds of Rs, this is a fraction of the investment. I don't have time? Boiled eggs last days in the fridge. Canned sardines are ready, and grilled chicken on Sunday lasts the whole week. These are more than 2 decades dedicated exclusively to mature men's health. And if there's one truth that's confirmed repeatedly over all these years, it's this: the male body wasn't designed to give up at 60. It was designed to adapt, rebuild, and stay strong if it gets the right fuel. What destroys a man is never age itself. It's the absence of what the body needs to keep functioning as it was designed. We started with the egg because without a solid muscle base and hormonal raw material, the body has nowhere to draw strength from. Then came sardines, because without free circulation and protected arteries, even the best testosterone in the world can't reach where it needs to. And finally, chicken, because without deep sleep, emotional stability, and clean energy, the body functions but doesn't truly live. These three proteins together form the nutritional base every man over 60 should prioritize daily. I'm not asking you to radically change your life. I'm showing you that 3 simple, accessible foods available at any market can be the difference between just existing and really living with strength, presence, and vitality. I've seen this happen with Antonio, Carlos, Roberto, Fernando. They all had something in common. None needed expensive medications. None needed invasive procedures. All they needed was the right information and the decision to act. And that's exactly what's in front of you now. Not someday. Now. Tomorrow morning, when you open the fridge, remember that inside could be the start of a transformation that will change how you feel, how you move, and how you see yourself. If this kind of content makes sense to you, subscribe to Dr. Natália Castro's channel and turn on the notification bell. Here, we talk about what almost no one has the courage to explain honestly. Give it a like and write in the comments which of these 3 proteins you'll include first in your daily routine. Your response could be exactly the encouragement another man needs to make the same decision. Next week, I'll reveal the 5 essential minerals that, when combined with these 3 proteins, multiply the results in a way that'll surprise you. These are minerals most doctors simply don't mention in consultations, but can dramatically accelerate the entire process of recovering male vitality. I'm Dr. Natália Castro, and I'll see you in the next video.